So just finding an easy cross-legged position of some sort. Allowing your hands to just rest on the tops of your thighs. And maybe just beginning to take some little neck rolls. Just worry about going down and over to one shoulder and then down and to the other shoulder. Keeping the eyes closed down. And trying not to round your back as you do this, right? Sitting nice and tall, balanced over your sitting bones. Taking it slow and easy. And maybe the next time you're over to your right shoulder, we'll just linger there. Really start to feel the left side of your neck opening up. Using your breath with each inhale, finding a little space. And as you exhale, sinking a little bit more. Giving your neck some permission to let go. And then maybe start to walk your left fingertips out to the left. Maybe rest your right hand on top of your head. And then we'll come back to center. Bring both hands just to the tops of your knees. And if you're in hero's pose, you can just rest them on your thighs as well. And just start to reach your chin up as you roll your shoulders back. So you're not dropping your head back as much as you are just lifting your chin, trying to get a stretch along the front. And then come back to neutral. And we'll drop your left ear over to your left shoulder and just linger there. But you can let your elbows again bend into your body. Careful not to start slouching as you sit here, right? Nice and tall. If you are a rounder in your low back, then give that a little extra juice, right? Start to make sure you're tilting into your pelvis instead of letting it posterior tilt, right? Nice and neutral. And start to walk those right fingertips out to the right. And maybe rest your left hand on top of your head. And then we'll come back to neutral. Hands come back to your laps, grab the fronts of your knees and just reach your chin up as you roll your shoulders back and down. And then we'll come back to neutral. Find a tabletop. And from here, start to do your neck rolling. So this is a little bit more forgiving for those of us. I have some pretty dramatic tech neck, according to my chiropractor. And so this, for me, feels a little bit safer than when we're doing neck rolls seated. So you can just let your head be heavy and then lift it up. And then again, let it be heavy. And then start to make this movement bigger. So maybe you start to wag your tail. Maybe you start to shift your hips left and right. Maybe you start to make this movement a little bit more fluid, a little bit more organic. You can even start to move through a cat-like spine, and then a cow-like spine. And then whatever direction you're moving, make sure you switch and go the other way. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine and move this into our cat and cow. Finding an arch with each inhale, rounding into your cat as you exhale. Inhale, pushing your heart through for cow. Exhale, lifting the middle of your back, pushing through the tops of your feet for cat. Let's take 2 more. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Push it back to a child's pose. Hips touch your heels, and then inhale it right back up. Exhale, let those hips fall forward. You might need to adjust your hands forward. Inhale through center. And exhale, heels back. 2 more. Inhale, center. So we're just starting to say hello to that psoas on both sides. Inhale through center. Exhale it back. 1 more. Inhale through center. And exhale, hips drop. Take it back. Curl your toes under. Find your downward facing dog and walk your hands back to your feet. Nice generous bend to your knees. Tuck your pinkies in your elbow creases and just let your head hang. Release your right hand down, soften that right knee, stretch your left hand up to the sky. Find a twist and a stretch along the outside of that left leg. And then we'll plant your left hand, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg, and reach your right arm up to the sky. And we'll bring that right hand down, heel toe your feet together. Arms are heavy, head is heavy, we're gonna roll it up. Stacking one vertebrae on top of the next, on top of the next. When you get to the top, reach your arms up. We'll grab that left wrist with your right hand. Try to touch the ceiling and then squeeze the right side of your waist as you bring your hands over to the right and send your hips to the left. Come back through center. We'll switch the grip. Reach your right arm up. And then squeeze the left side of your waist and push your hips to the right. Legs are strong, ribs are knitted together. Come back in through center, release your hands to support your low back. Push your hips forward, just lift. Think about length more than back bend. But lift your chin and allow your shoulders to come back. Strong legs, weight stays towards your heels. Come back up to center. Inhale, your arms reach up. And exhale, hands through heart center. We'll send your hands forward. Find your downward facing dog. Lift up those heels as high as they'll go. And exhale, heels heavy on the mat. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, heels heavy. Maybe even your toes lift. Start to push the backs of your legs back. Inhale, lift up your heels. And exhale, heels heavy on the mat. This time we're gonna roll forward to plank pose. Rock forward on your toes. You're welcome to drop to your knees. We're gonna lower halfway and then inhale it right back up to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale it up. Plank. 2 more. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank. This time we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhale into baby cobra. Stretch your chin forward, no weight in your hands. Exhale it back down. Inhale, roll those shoulders back. Peel your heart up off the mat. Exhale it down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, this time pushing into your hands. Find your upward facing dog. And exhale, hips high and back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or float, top of the mat. Lengthen into your half lift. And exhale, fold. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. This time, inhale, push through your feet, reach it all the way up. And exhale, hands at your side. Surya Namaskar A, 3 of them. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana. Inhale, head up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, push your heart through, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Downward facing dog, hold it here. Allow your head to be heavy, really rooting down through your inner hands. See if you can wrap those triceps down. Bend your knees next. Inhale all the way to Ardha Uttanasana. Lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, push through your feet. Reach all the way up. And exhale, hands at your side, Tadasana. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, head up, Ardha. Exhale, plant your hands, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into your back bend. You are welcome to take modifications. Exhale, downward facing dog. You don't need my permission. So when you need to drop your knees, you need to skip vinyasas. Remember that it is your practice. Also welcome to intensify as needed. Bend your knees, look forward. We'll float to the top of the mat. Lengthen and fold. Inhale, push through your feet, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands at your side, Tadasana. Inhale, arms up, La Surya A. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, plant your hands, send it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, push your heart through, really find that big opening. And exhale, downward facing dog. Each downward dog getting a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller as your body starts to warm up. Look forward to being back in the hot room one day. Bend your knees, look forward. Lengthen and fold. Inhale, push through your feet, reach all the way up. And exhale, hands at your side. Inhale, Utkatasana. Hips low, arms high. Hands can be together, they can be apart. Using the strength of your upper back, though, to lift them. If you lift your gaze, if that feels okay on your neck, you can do that. Otherwise, keep it neutral. Sit a little bit lower. Sit your hips back. We're going to take this into a little turbo chair. So start to reach your fingertips forward. Maybe even bringing those thighs parallel to the ground, holding it here. Challenge yourself using that counterbalance. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your hands to the mat. We're going to step that left foot back and drop your left knee. Untuck your left toes. Reach your arms up, Anjaneyasana. Start to find that big stretch along the top of your left hip. And then we'll bring your hands to heart center and shift your hips back, flexing your right toes and folding over that right leg. Bend into your right knee. Inhale, arms up once again. This time we're going to tuck those left toes and lift it up into our crescent lunge. Strong left leg. See if you need to bend that left knee in order to find a neutral pelvis, you can do that. It's early in class. Maybe looking up, maybe even starting to draw a line behind you with those hands. And we'll bring your hands through heart center. Plant your hands and step your right foot back and hold your plank. We'll take 5 chaturangas here. Knees up or down. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, push it right back up. Lower, lift, lower, lift. We've got 2 more. 4, 5, push it up. Send your hips back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, float to the top of the mat. Lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, push through your feet, reach all the way up. And exhale, sit into Utkatasana. Coming back down into our little turbo chair, reaching your hands forward, reaching your hips back, really trying to get those thighs parallel to the mat, building some heat here. Hold it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant your hands and step your right foot to the back of the mat and drop your right knee. Untuck those right toes. Inhale, reach it up. Get that big, long opening on that right side. Push into the top of your right foot. Sending your hips forward. And then we'll bring your hands through heart center and start to shift your hips back and flex your left toes. Finding your half splits. Then bend into that left knee. Reach your arms up once again. This time we're going to tuck those right toes and come into your high lunge. If it's available to you, start to bring your hands together and maybe start to draw a line behind you. Strong legs, looking up, maybe even looking back. And then hands come down to the mat. We'll step that left foot back to meet your right. We've got 5 more chaturangas. Lower it down, push it up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Send it back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. We'll float to the top of the mat. Lengthen and fold. Inhale, push through your feet, reach it all the way up. And exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. This time we're going to twist. So bring your hands to your heart center. And we'll bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Roll that right shoulder back. Bring your thumbs to your sternum. Nice long spine. Knees are even. Hips are even. Open up your arms. Send your left fingertips down. Send your right fingertips up. Maybe looking up at that right hand. And bring your hands back together. Look down at your feet. We're going to hover that left heel. Bring it into your hip. Finding the balance here in your little flamingo. Start to send that left foot straight back from your hips. Whoop, and then to the back of the mat, landing in your twisted crescent. You can open up your arms here. Try not to rest your belly on your right thigh. Maybe even looking up at that right hand. Bring your hands back together. Hands find the mat. Vinyasa. Hips high and back for downward facing dog. Roll it forward. Find your plank pose. Bring your right hand down. We're going to roll onto the outside of that right foot. See if you can scoot your booty underneath your body as you reach your left arm up. Maybe looking up at that left hand. Maybe lifting that left leg Send your left fingertips forward. And we're going to bring that left foot in front of your right foot. Stagger your feet. Stay in that right side plank. And we'll thread the needle underneath and then sweep it up. And again, so using the strength of your obliques to really rotate here. We've got 6. Lift it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down. We'll find that left side plank. Reaching your right arm up. Again, trying to find that integrity of your core. So knitting your ribs together, scooting your hips under you, reaching your right hand up, and then reaching your right hand overhead and lifting that right leg. Really pushing into that left leg, squeezing your left glute. Then we'll bring your right foot in front of your left and thread the needle. Right arm goes underneath and lift it up. And through. And up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach it up. Right hand comes down. Lower all the way down to the mat. And inhale into your baby cobra. Push into the tops of your feet. And lower it down. Arms out from your sides. Lift it up into a locust. Arms up. Legs up. Roll your shoulders back. Really find that big opening. Stretch your chin forward. And lower it down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Start to push through your hands nice and slow with control. Plank. And send it back for downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. We'll float to the top of the mat. Lengthen into your half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, push through your feet all the way up. And exhale, coming into that chair. This time we'll twist to the left. Left hand pushes down into your right. You can open up your arms or left fingertips down. Right fingertips down, left fingertips up. And bring your hands back together. We're gonna look at those feet and start to pick up your right heel into your hip. Start to stretch that right foot behind you. And then lay it down in the back of your mat and coming into your twisted crescent. Again, here, maybe opening up the arms, right fingertips down, left fingertips up. Looking up at that left hand. Come back into center. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, hands find the mat. Step it back to downward facing dog. And drop your forearms down for dolphin. Dolphin number 1. For this first round, we're going to interlace those hands and do that the shoulder exercises. Next time we'll take an inversion, but this time, so keep your elbow shoulder width distance apart. Don't let them go out too wide. And then we'll shift your weight forward, past your hands, and send it back. Bring it forward and send it back. Keep moving, really trying to keep your core engaged, lifting your heels, rippling it forward, pushing through your arms, sending it back. Good, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold your dolphin. Push forward with your forearms, melt your heart back. Head is heavy but shouldn't be touching. If it is, bring your feet in. Heels are reaching for the mat, pelvis is pointing up. Doesn't matter if those heels touch. Keep your belly button pulled and maybe inch your feet a little bit closer to your elbows. And then bring your feet back, push into your hands, and find your downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up, open up the hip, bend that right knee, press your left heel down into the mat. Melt your heart back, really find a big opening along that left leg. You can stay here or you can lift that left heel, shift your shoulders over your wrists, and maybe in slow-mo, maybe your right foot doesn't even touch behind you. Maybe just barely kiss your right big toe down to the mat for a little wild thing. Maybe keep it lifted. And then we'll bring that right hand down and bring your right foot between your hands for a warrior one. Reach your arms up overhead. We're going to start to straighten that right leg. Bring your hands behind you. And then walk your left foot in about 1/3 of the way. Square hips. We're going to bow over that straight right leg. Finding a pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Looking down at that right foot. Then we'll release your left hand down, taking this into Trikonasana B, which is our revolved triangle. So if you're pretty open, you can bring that left hand down to the outside of your right foot and reach your right arm up. If you need to bring that left hand somewhere along your right ankle, you can do that. Maybe lifting your right arm, maybe looking up at that right hand. And then we'll bring your right hand down to the inside and pivot on your heels. Parallel feet, taking this into Prasarita. Plant your hands, inhale, push through your hands. Extend your heart forward. And exhale, start to walk your fingertips in line with your toes. Elbows bend back. Rocking weight into your toes, forward, trying to line up your hips and your ankles, maybe engaging your quadriceps. And we'll bring your hands just slightly forward. We're going to send your toes out and your heels in. Start to sit your hips low and bring your hands to heart center, finding a goddess. So making any adjustments you need to here, make sure that those knees are tracking out over your second toe so you don't have too much pressure on your knees. And then start to lift your heart and sit your hips low and find some movement here. So really exploring, what does that low squat feel like for you? And then lift it up. And then moving here. Got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it low. Bring your hands to the outsides of your knees and to the insides of your knees and encourage them out as you lift your heart and sit low. Sit low. Really feel those glutes fire up. Feel your shoulder blades pinch on your back. Feel your heart lift. Holding it here, belly button pulled in. And then we'll flip those hands, fingertips down, and just drop that right shoulder and roll your left shoulder back. Finding a stretch here along your low back and your right adductor, that's your inner thigh. And then we'll switch. Left shoulder down, right shoulder rolls back. Come back in through center, stand up tall. We'll send those right toes out, left toes in. If you need to walk that left foot in slightly, we're coming into Trikonasana. So bump that left hip out, reach forward with your right hand, and then we'll let those right fingertips come down. And send your left hand up to the sky. Inhale, lift it up. We'll take a reverse triangle. Legs stay straight. Left fingertips just fall down the back of that left leg. Right arm up and over. Big stretch along that right side. And we'll come back to center and step your left foot forward to meet your right at the top of the mat. Pick up your left ankle. We're going to cross it over that right knee. Flexing your left foot and then sitting low. Woo! Some days balance is better than others. It's never great, but some days it's better than others. Sit a little bit lower, and a little bit lower, and a little bit lower, and then change. Left foot comes down. Inhale, arms reach up. Interlace your hands, release your index fingers up. Try to touch the ceiling, and then we'll squeeze the right side of the waist, send your hips to the left. Inviting that left hip forward and rolling your left shoulder back. Come back to center. Lift it up tall, and then we'll come over to the left, pushing your hips to the right, inviting that right hip forward and rolling your right shoulder back. Ribs pulled in and engaged, strong legs. Come back to center. You are welcome to support your low back if you need to, otherwise keep those hands together. Start to lift up. Weight is going to stay in your heels, but push your hips forward and draw a line to the back of your room. Letting your head drop back for 3, 2, and 1. Come up to center. Hands to heart center. We're going to lower down into that turbo chair one more time. Well, it might not be our last time, I'm not going to lie to you. Lower it down, lower it down. Pick up your heels, split your knees, and we'll lower down into Navasana. Lifting up those feet, hands are forward. Slowly lowering down into your low boat. With control, slow motion. And then with control, bringing it right back up. Shaking is okay, it's allowed. Shake means change, right? Lowering it down again. Nice and control. Lifting it up to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees. Roll back. We're going to come back up to stand. Lift it up. Whoop. And fold. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to move through a vinyasa. If you'd like to take a little bakasana, plant your hands first. Bring your knees into your armpits. Look forward, pick up those heels, and then shoot it back and push it through. Find your downward facing dog. And just stay here for 2 breaths. Nice and slow. Another one. Inhale. And let it go. Exhale. Inhale that left leg up. Right heel heavy on the mat. Open up that hip. Stack your left hip on top of your right. Bend that left knee. Rotate it up. You can stay here, lift that right heel, shift your shoulders over your wrists, and slowly start to maybe just kiss your left big toe behind you and reach that left up. Maybe that big toe hovers or doesn't quite touch or just grazes. And then we'll bring that left hand down and bring your left foot forward. Warrior one. Lift it up. And start to straighten that left leg. We'll bring your hands behind you, either reverse Anjali Mudra or fist to fist. Step your right foot forward about a third of the way, square off your hips, and bow over that straight left leg. Coming into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. And then taking this into Parivrtta Trikonasana, which is B, bringing your right hand maybe to the outside of that left foot and extending that left arm up, or you can always modify by bringing that right hand anywhere along the top of that left leg. And then we'll bring that left hand down to the inside, pivot on your heels. We're going to take this into Skandasana. So bend into your right leg. We'll leave the sole of your left foot down on the mat. You are welcome to take this as a bind. Bringing that left hand behind you, rolling that left shoulder back, maybe looking up to the sky. And bring your hands down, and we'll find the other side. Bending into that left leg. Again, maybe taking this as a bind. And then we'll bring both hands down to the center. Shift those heels in. Start to lower your hips and start to lift your hands. And we'll find squats. So really exploring. See how low you have to go to feel those glutes really working. Actively pushing your heels out. Lowering a little bit more. Pulling those lower abdominals in. Squeezing your ribs together. Lifting your heart and sitting it low. Got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, bring your hands to the insides, fingertips down, and we'll take another stretch. Drop your right shoulder down, roll that left shoulder back. And then we'll switch. Bring your left shoulder down, roll your right shoulder back. Coming back to center, drop your hands and parallel your feet. Option to take your hands behind your back, interlace your hands and find Prasarita Padottanasana, C variation with your arms overhead, getting that shoulder rinse, or you are welcome to take your feet or your big toes or just plant your hands on the mat. If there's an inversion for you here, you can always drop your head, push into your hands and start to lift those feet. And make your way up to your headstand. Pulling your navel in, trying to stack your joints, and nice and controlled. Gaze is soft, thoughts are soft. If you're in an inversion, start to make your way down, land in your footprints, bring your hands to your hips, and bring it all the way up. Send those left toes forward. We'll walk your right foot in, heel to heel alignment. We're gonna do a Utthita Trikonasana triangle pose. So start to pull that left hip under you, bump your right hip out. Reach those left fingertips forward, and then drop your left hand and lift your right arm up. Looking up at that right hand. Push into that left hand. Keep your legs straight. Push your hips forward. Start to reach your left fingertips overhead. Reverse your triangle. And then we'll start to straighten. Come back to center and step your right foot to meet your left. Coming to the top of the mat. Crossing your right ankle over your left knee, sitting low into your chair. Hands at heart center. Flexing that right foot, really pushing that right knee down. Get yourself a nice stretch there along that right glute. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to drop those hands and just let that right foot come down to the mat. Separate your feet, hip distance apart. Grab your big toes. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. And exhale, fold. Elbows bend out to the side. See if you can shift your weight forward enough to have your hips lined up over your heels. And letting your head be heavy. And then release your big toes and slide the palms of your hands underneath your feet. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. And exhale, elbows bend out or back. Maybe rocking weight into your toes, giving yourself a little wrist massage. And then release your hands from underneath your feet. Heel toe your feet together. We've got one more turbo chair. Bringing your hands forward, paralleling your legs. Really sitting back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take this all the way down into Navasana. Hips down, feet up. Heart is lifted, shoulders are back. Gaze is soft and steady. And let your knees bend. You're going to bring those feet down to the mat. You're going to keep those fingertips reaching forward. I know I've been doing this one kind of a lot in class lately, but I've really come to love it. I started doing Pilates classes and I've started to integrate some of the movements into my own practice. So we're going to round your back. Start to lift up that pelvic floor. Start to pull in your low abdominals. Bring your belly button into your spine and see if you can make every single vertebrae touch, one at a time. 2. Now don't let your feet lift up off of the mat. As soon as your shoulder blades touch, you're just going to roll it right back up. Just as slow. Really pushing through your fingertips. Lifting it up with control. Rocking it up onto your sacrum. Lifting your heart. And then again, rounding it down. So we've got 4 more of these. Keep those low abdominals pulled in. So feel it here on your low abdominals. Once those shoulder blades touch, one vertebrae at a time, we're going to lift it all the way up. Good. 3. Coming down. and lifting it up. We've got 2 more. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Keep those feet pressing down into the mat. And then we'll lift it up. We've got 1 more. Start to lower. And squeeze it right back up. Good, this time we're gonna lower, but you're gonna pause when those shoulder blades touch. So around your back, make that connection, every vertebrae. Pause, and then lift up your knees. And then send your arms overhead, but nothing else changes. Gaze is lifted, arms by your shoulders. Pull your ribs in, pull your belly button in, just hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. I don't know about you, but I felt that. And then we're gonna come right into a back bend. So your choice, whether you find a bridge or a full wheel. You're always welcome to take a support. If you have a block near you and you want to just put it under your sacrum and take a supported bridge, you can do that too. But I'm going to come up into a full wheel, and we're going to do 3 rounds. If you're coming into a bridge, feel free to just go up and stay up. So picking your poison, bring your hands next to your ears if you're joining me for these full wheels. And we'll start to push hands and feet. Lift it up. If you're coming in a bridge, I'm going to assume you know where you're going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come onto the top of your head, just your hands to your feet. Push it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down on the top of your head, just your hands. Push it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Bring your knees in. Give them a little squeeze left and right. We're going to bring that left foot down to the mat and extend your right leg up and pull that right leg in any amount for a hamstring stretch. You can keep those elbows close into your right leg. If you like, you can curl your forehead up to your knee. If you're pretty open or don't have injuries, you can always extend that left leg out if that feels good. And then we're going to bend this right knee and bring it into a half happy baby. So give that left leg some juice. Relax your head and shoulders down. With your right hand, grab the outside of that right foot and bring your right knee all the way to the outside of your rib cage, maybe even all the way down to the mat. At least that's what we're going for. I can't do that, but that's the energy of it. And then we'll let go of that right foot and allow your left hand to guide your right knee over to the left as you extend your right arm long to the right. You can tuck those right toes behind your left knee if that feels good. And then we'll bring that right knee over. And we'll bring your left knee in. Give them a little squeeze together. And bring that right foot down to the mat. Send that left leg up to the sky. And start to pull in that left leg. And if it feels good and you want to straighten that right leg, you can straighten that right leg. And we'll start to bend that left knee. Grab for the outside of that left foot. Give that right leg a little energy, pushing your right heel forward and bringing your right calf down onto the mat. As we come into our half happy baby pose, bringing that left knee all the way outside of your rib cage, left knee down towards the mat. Letting that stretch in both directions. And then we'll, with your right hand, grab the outside of your left knee and allow it to fall over to the right, maybe tucking those left toes behind your right knee and extending your left arm long to the left. Maybe closing down the eyes, maybe beginning to let go. Let go of the practice. Let go of anything that does not serve you moving forward from this moment. Consciously, intentionally, deliberately letting it go. All that luggage that we all carry around, dropping it. Giving yourself permission to be free of it. I'm going to bring that left knee in. Bring your right knee in. Give them both a nice squeeze together. And settling into your final resting pose. Getting into Shavasana. And staying here for a few moments at least.